So as part of this autopsy and looking at the mistakes that I made as well, and I know better because I've run campaigns and I taught political communication strategy at the master's level at George Washington University, but our emotions get the best of us. We should never be calling people directly racist and sexist unless it's the candidate and maybe his top lieutenants. Is Trump racist and sexist? Yes. But calling his supporters that, first of all, remember that in a 50-50 country, if they voted for him before, a lot of them maybe they just always vote Republican and held their nose and nothing better came along for them. And I mean this honestly, because back when I was a Republican, I did not like being called racist if I did not support Barack Obama. I was a Republican operative. This was obviously in the pre-Trump era. I was a moderate, what we now call RINO. I wouldn't be allowed in the party. But I wasn't, the reason that I didn't support Barack Obama wasn't because I was racist. I had at that time not ever supported a Democrat. But on the night of his inauguration, I was at friend's house and I celebrated the peaceful transfer of power and the inauguration of a president. Yes, our first Black president. I knew how historically great that was. And that was a different era, you know. And these were friends and neighbors, Black people, Black family who had lots of family and friends coming in. So it was a party, and I was a part of it. So I now realize that I didn't like being called that. Now that doesn't mean that a lot of the MAGA are not racist and sexist. They are, but we should not have assumed that that was why they were supporting Trump instead of Kamala Harris. We needed to give them the other reasons about Trump. And we have to accept the fact that Merrick Garland failed. And anybody that bought into the garbage from the Garland cheerleaders, well after it was apparent there was something very, very wrong at DOJ with Merrick Garland, you have to accept responsibility for that because that was extremely harmful. The media and Merrick Garland are the two main reasons we're in this situation right now. We did elect a woman president in Hillary Clinton in 2016. She won the popular vote. I still think that there was funny business on election night in the battleground states that eventually gave the presidency to Trump because those numbers came in only after the exit polling numbers were that the media had that they weren't supposed to give to anybody that was supposed to be secret were given to the Trump campaign at 5:01 on election night by Chris Blasto of ABC News. He told them they lost and where. And over the course of the next few hours, of course, 77,000 votes perfectly distributed among those three battleground states gave Trump the presidency. And remember, earlier, Manafort had given Kalimnik internal polling, campaign polling data, which was the same as giving it to Putin. So they were set up and they knew what they were doing. Yes, Putin cheats for Trump. Yes, Trump cheats. Trump cheats at everything in his life, always has. And we can't always keep up with it or prove it, but we know it's happening. And I think it happened this year, of course, as well. I think they tried in 2020 and failed because of the pandemic and the mailed-in votes. So they had to come up with different strategies. Kamala Harris is a woman, and we will elect a woman in this country, and it could still be a Democrat one day. Does sexism and racism hurt? Yes, but we have elected a woman with the popular vote in Hillary Clinton, and we have elected a Black American and Barack Obama. So we have to look at other things. We were too easy on Merrick Garland. We didn't put enough pressure on Congress to launch a January 6th committee a year earlier than they did. And that was the only thing that got Merrick Garland to at least appear to take some action. Right now, I fear that we're going to be making a mistake if we try and play nice and don't demand a hand recount of paper ballots, the hand recount of ballots in the battleground states, in these swing states where there's something that seems very, very wrong, where people only voted for president and nothing else. And yes, you'll have some people want to come up with different scenarios for that, or different reasons why they think it happened, but there's no question that it's really odd and we need an answer. It doesn't mean we're accusing anybody of cheating right off the bat, but we do need to find out. And we need to make sure that the Democratic leadership understands that we're demanding it. They have to be more afraid of us, and more, if that's what it takes to be responsive to us, than they are to MAGA. And right now they're not. Right now they care. Right now they care about appearing to be nice. They don't want to be criticized. We have to stop that stuff right now. Okay? We need a recount. We have to know. There's information that we need moving forward, um, because we are in for a very, very rough time as a country and as a party. There's no question, but as a country. So let's really be honest about what we did wrong. Doesn't matter if it's fair or not. Fairness has nothing to do with it. But we fell into some traps, and we should have constantly been pointing out that Trump is racist and sexist, and J.D. Vance and a few other the top people. But we probably erred in calling voters racist and sexist, even if they are. That puts them on the defensive. It doesn't give us any wiggle room or give them any wiggle room to come the other way, even if it was at the last minute. And what we wanted to do, what we should have been trying to do, is keep them as close to that line, in those margins where they could be considered persuadable voters. And instead, I think we beat them up too much and made them kind of dig in. So those are my offerings. And I'm going to be coming up with some more moving forward. I hope that they're useful. But again, I initially was saying this country just will not elect a woman, let alone a Black woman. I don't think that's true. I think Kamala Harris was an excellent candidate. And she did win on the ticket as vice president, and they defeated Trump. I don't think that even the fact that we got her late in the game was a problem. And the reason I don't think that's a problem is that I think we benefit by a shorter election cycle. It was Merrick Garland, and it was the media, and we played into a lot of it. Full stop. And we have to accept that. We should have been working harder on the media, but instead we kind of fall in love with our favorite little media people, and we have our little cliques, and we start worshiping these people with clever tweets and that sort of thing. And we can be just as gullible as MAGA. And sometimes we don't want to understand what sound strategy is. And I'll be honest with you, I've had actual political strategists, consultants tell me that they have a hard time pulling their clients, their candidates down from this place where they have been buying into what the grifters have been telling them, the people who are playing this game where they want to get you all riled up so that you'll give money to them. These are the generational wealth guys, or the people who are, corporate lawyers, mergers and acquisitions lawyers who are on TV because of a famous ex-wife, but they are not former federal prosecutors and they're not political strategists, but they are clever and they know how to be articulate, and they have you convinced that their way is the way to go. And as long as you're entertained and everybody sounds like, yeah, that sounds great, guys, when you're watching MSNBC or whatever, you go along with it. And I urge you to understand that this really is a profession. Okay? And you have some frauds on TV. You have the real deal mixed in with the frauds. And if you start naming names, you get beat up. But it is a problem. And it's one that I've been kind of screaming about for a long time. And I actually don't know how we resolve it.